Hi friends, in Planet Earth Dating, it's Friday, July 5th, 2019. In both the Lynn life and the Jamie body mind, the authorized souls remain only child souls from the deeper, denser dimensions, and all other souls from all other dimensions, as long as the souls are already living by the many rules already given to the search for truth community by wiser minds above all of us. One of those foundational rules being to continually look up to wiser minds above, asking up, what now, in order to fulfill some facet of the soul plan that addresses the big problems of our times, and then to do whatever it is that wiser minds above say to do, to the best of our abilities, the way in which they say to do it, when they say to do it, as if we intended to excel.
That's true.
And so we have this big assignment of turning around a biosphere that seems to be fully oppositional defiant.
That's true.
And the oppositional defiance to the soul plan seems to be in the molecules and atoms and
That's
potentially subatomic particles also.
That's right.
All the way down into the depths. And the oppositional defiance is also all the way up into the astral
That's
dimensions
true.
affiliated with Ground Zero planet Earth.
That's true.
So it's challenging because it seems to be pretty much everywhere. I don't want to do it and you can't make me. It seems to be the prevailing attitude, and
That's
it wears
true.
a lot of masks and a lot of disguises,
That's
but
true.
it does seem to be everywhere. But we don't think that it's possible that this is actually a unique situation.
That's true.
This is just such an insignificant average planet, such a backwater galaxy, such an unimportant average universe.
That's
We just
right.
think there have to have been other planets who also fell into this level of oppositional defiance. And surely some of those have been successfully turned around by now. So does anybody up there know of any other planets who had gone fully feral, running away from divine voices, running away from higher vibration voices?
That's true.
Just feral. Are there any other planets who had gone fully feral that have successfully been turned around so that presences are once more looking up to wiser minds above, asking up, what now? What is it I'm supposed to be doing right now? And then doing whatever it is the instructions are, the way in which they're supposed to be carried out as if we intend to excel. There's got to be some other planets that turned around. Who knows of a planet that's successfully been turned around?
It's very opening in the head.
It's very opening, and I've seen a couple of different rooms as we've been going up. One is kind of a dusty room. We're not supposed to stop
No,
there.
I
and
also see that
somebody
place.
says, look at those boxes in the corner. But that doesn't feel like those boxes in the corner hold the answer. If you kind of pass a magnet over the boxes for the vibration that it would have to be, there's nothing.
Nowhere in that room.
Yeah,
No.
it's not there. Thank you. And then I look up higher, and it looks like it kind of has that feeling of coming up out of the manhole cover
Yeah, it
into
does.
a place that looks kind of clear of life.
Yes, that's true.
Does anybody up here know of a planet who's been successfully turned around? Somebody's talking about how we are all cells in the body of the planet.
That's what they're talking
and
about.
how when a presence, a sentience goes oppositional defiant, that all the cells have a chance to join in the defiance or hold themselves separate from the defiance, and that there's herd instinct and that groupthink is real.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
once a critical mass decides that they want to be oppositional defiant, then these types of situations do arise from time to time.
That's true.
And what do you do? How do you stop it? How do you change it? And it has to be a match for this phenomenon where we seem to, as a collective, have decided that reality doesn't matter.
Yes, that's true.
And that's a crucial component. It's not just oppositional defiance.
That's true.
It's this kind of collective agreement that we'll just pretend that reality doesn't matter.
Yes.
Does any planet have that situation that's been successfully turned around? Has any planet had that situation and been successfully turned around?
I feel the question going higher.
It is a helpful question in terms of opening up the headspace.
That's true.
What planets have had this issue of fantasy as if a collective agreement to ignore reality would do anything to change reality?
Yeah.
That's been turned around so that presences begin to act as if reality mattered. How about that? Has there been a planet that's been turned around who's got that collective fantasy agreement going on?
I feel somebody in a higher dimension room who's turning the problem over in his hands.
Mm-hmm.
Like
a
has
model.
A model, that was the word. Like he has a tiny model of Ground Zero planet Earth and he's turning it around.
Interesting. They're talking about the list of common errors that we have. He's talking about the morning protocol list,
that's
where we
right.
just have a list of many of the common errors that occur, so that when we're attempting to correct the errors first thing in the morning, that we don't have to start from square one every day. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. And often we can find that somewhere on that list that is supposed to fit on one page and probably has about 50 items, and so some of them have to share lines.
That's true.
That we can usually cover most of the errors from that list. And with somebody saying, and what does that tell us? And it tells us that our errors, the errors that we make, are really not all that unique.
Yes, that's true.
They're common errors, and these are the errors of not just humanity and not just life on Ground Zero planet Earth, but the errors of everybody that we come in contact with.
That's true.
Everybody seems to share the same error patterns. Ra used to call it our individual toxic brew.
Yeah, that's right.
Whatever errors we lean more heavily on, that's our individual toxic brew. For him it's a message. And why do you ask?
I don't hear anybody.
Well, they keep pointing to the list of errors, and they come in categories, and just from memory, many of them have to do with breaking rules.
That's true.
And then some of them have to do with denying reality.
That's true.
And then some of them have to do with refusing to look up and ask up to wiser minds above, what now, and refusing to do what wiser minds above say.
That's true.
And some of them are pretending someone else is going to solve the big problems.
Yeah.
Pretending that previous gifts of grace are going to arrive regardless.
Yes.
Lots of pretenses.
Pretending that because karma is delayed, it does not exist.
Perfect example. Denying we are accountable for our soul plan.
That's right.
All these same error patterns arise over and over again.
And the point that somebody is trying to make is it's not just that the error patterns are arising in these two Ground Zero hosts' lives over and over again. It's also through the constant stream of souls that are moving through the Ground Zero hosts' lives, which is a much, much bigger group than it sounds like.
It's a significantly larger group because many souls who are affiliated or supposed to be affiliated with other lives. They seem to view these lives as a portal, a way to get into the dimension at least, and then
Yeah,
kind of
that's
fan
true.
out and find the life that they're supposedly responsible for, that they've just completely lost. And we understand how challenging interdimensional contact is,
Oh, yeah.
and so we don't feel judgmental that these
No,
souls
that's
are
true.
losing their lives. It's challenging working conditions.
That's true.
But as they pass through, they leave their energy trails of errors, as do we all.
As do we all when we pass through anywhere.
Mhm. So these are the trails of errors of probably millions, maybe billions
I
of
think billions
souls.
with a B,
Probably
yeah.
billions with a B of souls. I miss a message. Why do you ask? And therefore, to get to the point, therefore, these are probably the errors of the collective of the planet, or at least the
Yes.
planet dimension, and the dimensions affiliated with Ground Zero planet Earth.
Yes.
These are probably the shared errors because everybody seems to have them.
That's true.
Or I miss a message, and why do you ask? They're saying something. Hold on.